Did you know that a 30-year-old album just cracked the UK Top 20? Mariah Carey's Daydream, released in 1995, is making waves again, but not because of TikTok trends or viral moments. This is a full-on nostalgia revival, and it's wild to watch. Personally, I think it's a masterclass in how legacy artists can weaponize their back catalogs in an era where streaming algorithms prioritize new content. How does a 30-year-old album even compete with today's hyper-trendy releases? Well, Mariah didn't just release it, she repackaged it. A baby pink vinyl pressing? That's not just a gimmick, it's a calculated move to tap into the vinyl revival while appealing to Gen Z collectors who want something tactile and exclusive. What makes this really interesting is how it highlights the absurdity of modern music economics. We are in a world where artists are constantly pressured to release new stuff, but here's Mariah, letting a classic album breathe again and still topping charts. It's almost like the industry forgot she existed for a minute. Let's talk about the charts. Daydream debuts at number 13 on the UK's official album downloads chart, which is basically a digital-only sales ranking. That's not just a win, it's a statement. In my opinion, this chart is the last frontier for legacy artists trying to prove relevance. Unlike streaming, where older music gets buried under new releases, digital downloads still give older albums a fighting chance. But here's the kicker, this isn't just about Mariah. It's about how the music industry is slowly realizing that nostalgia isn't just a marketing tactic, it's a revenue engine. A detail I find fascinating is that Daydream is now her 18th appearance on this chart. That's more than most artists achieve in their entire careers. What does that say about her? That she's not just a one-hit wonder, but a cultural force that transcends decades. And let's not ignore the R&B chart comeback. Daydream reappears at number 18 on the official hip-hop and R&B albums chart, nearly 30 years after its original number 1 debut. This raises a deeper question, why did it take so long for this album to return to the R&B scene? Was it because the genre has evolved so much that old-school R&B feels outdated? Or is it because Mariah's influence is so deeply embedded in the DNA of modern R&B that even her 1995 work feels fresh? I think it's a mix of both. Her signature vocal runs and emotional depth are still unmatched, but the genre has shifted toward more experimental sounds. Still, Daydream's return proves that there's room for both eras. It's like a bridge between the past and present, and that's what makes it so powerful. But here's what I really love about this story, it's not just about Mariah. It's about how music charts are becoming less about current hits and more about cultural touchstones. The fact that Daydream is competing with new releases from artists like Gracie Abrams and Motionless in White shows that the public isn't just chasing the new, it's revisiting the classics. If you take a step back and think about it, this is a sign of a maturing audience. People aren't just consuming music for the novelty anymore, they're seeking connection, comfort, and familiarity. And Mariah's Daydream, with its blend of pop, R&B, and heartfelt ballads, has always been the soundtrack to that kind of emotional journey. So what does this mean for the future of music? It suggests that legacy albums aren't just relics, they're assets. Artists who can curate their back catalogs with care, like Mariah did with this expanded edition, might find new life in old work. But it also makes me wonder, how many other artists are sitting on goldmine albums that could be revived with the right packaging and timing? The music industry might be finally catching up to the idea that nostalgia isn't a weakness, it's a strategy. And if that's the case, then Mariah Carey isn't just celebrating her past. She's rewriting the rules for how we define success in the 21st century.